Hello Gemini, I'm here to do your bonus reading for November. You've been very supportive and I wanted to thank you. So I had this idea for you, and this could only apply for you. I'm going to do a split spread. I'm going to do one side for one side of your twin and another side for the other side of your twin. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to pick 3 and 3, or actually the dice are going to pick them, and let's see what happens. I like to read a little something. I like to read to you. Let me read this thing from Walt Whitman. I was thinking about the theme of communication because you are the air sign. And it's funny, the piece I ended up finding, basically by chance, is called The Unexpressed. This was written about 100 years before the internet was invented, before the silent treatment, ghosting, and all that good stuff. It kind of speaks to that. And Gemini is known for being very, very expressive, the most expressive, the best at expression. But on the other hand, holding it back. If you go into reverse of, the Gemini pieces, it's about not expressing, holding back communication, stuff like that. So anyway, here it is. The Unexpressed by Walt Whitman. It's Leaves of Grass. How dare one say it? After the cycles, poems, singers, plays, vaunted Ionas, Indias, Homer, Shakespeare, the long, long times, thick dotted roads, areas, the shining clusters and the Milky Way of stars, nature's pulses reaped. All retrospective passions, heroes, war, love, adoration, in all ages plummets drop to their utmost depths. All human lives, throats, wishes, brains, all experiences, utterances. After the countless songs, or long or short, all tongues, all lands, still something not told in poesy, voice, or print. Something lacking, who knows? The best yet unexpressed and lacking. Okay, let's get on with this. Let's roll. We need a piece for one of Gemini's twins. Side A, let's call it. It's a reversal. Double lot 1 in reverse. Sorry I can't see the boxes from here, or I could tell you what that one is. Okay, let's do 2. That's another reversal. That same damn 0 comes up all the time. 7, 7 in reverse. Use the other hand. We'll get some uprights here. 45 upright. All right. So that's one twin. Now we're going to go to the other twin. I'll start off with the right hand. Upright. That same 0. 3 upright. What does Gemini's twin need to know? 40 in reverse. One more for Gemini's twin. What does the twin need to know? Upright, good. That's 7 with that 0 again. 7 upright. This 0 here, there's 2 zeros. I had to cross one out because it was an 80. An 8 and a 0. And I only have 79 pieces. Oh, by the way, here we have the Ace of Swords for air signs and the 3 of Swords. I used a lot of artistic license here, but I won't spend a lot of time talking about them. I think you get the idea. One's about being in your head. The sword, the aces are always about starting fresh. The Ace of Swords is a great piece. So let's see, who knows, maybe it'll pop up with one of these numbers. So I'm going to put them back in the boxes, mix everything up, put them back, and see where the numbers fall. Be right back. Okay, Gemini, we're back with your pieces. Let's take a look. I should explain that I laid them out with 3 on the left and 3 on the right. The white card is one side and the yellowish card is the other. It's good to take a minute, just look at what you see here, even pause the video. See what kind of story you get out of this. It's funny, after looking at them myself, of course I know the meanings because I made the pieces. We have a few reversals here. They're the ones with the little R's in front of them. And each one of these pieces relates directly to a tarot card. I do see swords. We have wands, earth. I don't see any water, no cups, no emotions, no love. This isn't about that so far. I did put 2 cards down, so we don't know what they're going to say. I have no idea what they are. And I can pull more cards. I could also, pull maybe a Moonology at the end, or Rumi, based on what we get. I love those too. It's hard to choose. I'll go over the pieces one by one, and then I'll go back and tell you what I think, what the meaning is in general, like my summary. Not going to go over the description of each piece though. First one you see, the little baby napping under an acorn. That's the 8 of Pentacles, Virgo, and the sun. It's in reverse, so that's earth. And actually, when I made this piece, I made it relating more to the meaning in reverse. So it's pretty accurate what we're seeing here. Next to that would be this guy back here. That's the king. So this is the first one, this is the second one. On this side, the A side. That's the King of Swords. Your king. Could be you, but he's in reverse. You might have a clue what that's about. The kings are great when they're upright. He can be a little cold even in upright. It's all about communication. So I'm not going to give too much away. You might already know all this. Now this piece with these are pentacles back here with the moon. And I mentioned that the king was Aquarius. Back there with the 6 pentacles on poles and the moon is the 6 of Pentacles, Taurus. Taurus comes up a lot in your readings, and not just mine. I notice other readers' readings. That's in the upright. That's good energy. Earth energy, stable foundations. Maybe about money or your house or things along that line. Real things in life. So now we go to the other side, this side here, with the dog. The dog stands for the Fool. In traditional tarot, there's a little dog that's holding on to his master who's about to jump off a cliff without even knowing it. Because he's so carefree, the dog saves him. So he's his best friend in this case. And we do have it upright. So that's the only major we have, and it's very good energy. It's the 0, it's the start. The other thing I notice is we have a 5, 6, 7, and 8 here. And the moon shows up in a couple places, giving you hints. Okay, so behind the Fool, the green missiles there, that's the 5 of Wands, fire, and upright. Well, sorry, it's in reverse. You might have some idea what that's about. I modernized it. Instead of wands, I have missiles. Be about conflict, fighting. In the upright, we'll see what it means in reverse. And then in the back corner, those snakes. There's snakes wrapped around each other, and there's more snakes around the bottom. Make a total of 7 snakes, 7 swords. It's your energy again, air sign. And that's upright. 7s are, 7 of swords is a pretty tough energy, even in upright. So overall, I have to say, there's not a real stark difference between your A side and your B side right now. You might feel that. Maybe you're aligned in your general attitude. It feels like it here. But again, we'll go through the card. We'll get some cards and take a look at it, and you can come up with your own conclusions. What I see is, okay, I think the most obvious piece that sums this whole thing up is the baby under an acorn. That's the sun. The sun usually is a warming energy, a positive, illuminating energy. I don't know if that changes in reverse that much. It's funny, the sun, it looks like he's in the sun or kind of hiding from the sun in the shade. It's a baby. It's earth, which makes sense. But this piece is all about lacking energy. Not having enough motivation to do the things you might need to do or want to do. And the other piece that's very similar is the 5 of Wands, the missiles on the other side. That's about lacking the energy to fight. Could be to fight for something important. Could be fighting for a relationship. Maybe something we've already talked about. There's a legal matter here maybe. Something about words. Not willing to talk about it maybe. And it's really like not having the energy. And the other piece that's very similar is on the other side in the back, the 7 of Swords. Because that's about, it's like taking credit for things you didn't, you or your person didn't do. So the Seven of Swords in the back could be about, it's a very negative piece. You know, it's about deception, manipulation, confusing speech. That's something that comes up here again with the King of Swords. That's really the biggest thing with him, because all air is about communication. In his case, he used words to make an oath, say, a promise, a contract, can even be about law, but in reverse, he's broken the contract. He broke the oath. He's not keeping his word, he or she. So there's at least 3-4 pieces here that are about communication and energy and the lack of energy, one way or another, or the lack of action. The wands normally are your action piece, and in this case, because it's in reverse, that means no action. The 2 pieces left are the more positive pieces. And on the left side, that's the Six of Pentacles, the Taurus energy, and that's about helping other people. Could be the community, could be people in your life. Maybe somebody's reached out to you and wants help or needs help, or maybe you know they need help, and you're giving. Could be giving gifts, could be an exchange of gifts. But it's definitely about sharing and engaging, which is the opposite of the other energy here. And that's the last piece on this side. So that's good energy. You know, Earth, it's Earth again, very solid. You have the moon, so the moon can be a little bit about secrets and mystery. Could also be about mother, though. Moon is the mother. On the right-hand side, the piece we didn't really talk about much, and the more positive piece, depends how you look at it, though, is the Fool. The Fool is all about taking action, really going off on their own, carefree. This piece came up, I think it came up in like the last 2 or 3 readings. And it's weird because I was almost attacked by dogs on a walk recently, and this dog keeps coming up. I guess it's a reminder, a warning. In fact, all these things can be warnings. Tarot's great at giving warnings, and the other thing I think it does really well is it confirms things we already have in our mind, and hopefully offers some solution, or at least clarity. And the Fool, on one hand, it's great because it's about going off, you know, getting away from whatever is going on and like being open and free. Free is very important. And right now, I think that the reason I keep saying it comes up anyways, because a lot of us are restricted. Our movements are restricted. Restaurants might not be open. Public transportation might be restricted. There's a million things. Even going to get food, wearing a mask, some people think that's a big deal. I personally don't see the problem. So anyway, the Fool energy, it's great as long as somebody's not running away. You have a lot of pieces here that are about not putting in the work, letting other people do the work. But then again, sometimes that's exactly what we need. We've been through anything traumatizing, just plain exhausted. There's something really heavy on our mind that we need to think about. We need that time alone. We need to be carefree and even have some fun. Imagine that. So I'll leave my little summary there, and let's look at the cards we got. I'm curious as hell. I'm going to move the camera. How am I going to do this? Let's see if I can do this on camera or not. I might have to move these pieces a little. Yeah, I'm going to have to move them. Not quite enough room. So this piece, this card, oh boy, it's in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Not great. That might be the problem here. Especially we think of the Queen as a mother, like the moon. We have the moon in 2 places here. You have it with the Seven of Swords. Where's the other one? There's the Sun. Oh yeah, the Six of Pentacles. That's also the moon. That's right. Yeah, it's right on there. So it could be about a mother because this card, it's a queen. So we have a queen and a king now. This queen here, she's normally the foundation. She's the one that keeps everything together, very nurturing and everything and upright. Great mom, you know, great mother, great wife, you know, takes care of everything. The house, the business, everything. But in reverse, it's that she's almost like gone too far with that. She's done so much that she's exhausted. It can come off as like a pity party if it's, in bad energy. This is reverse. But you can't blame people. It's not a good way to think about it because that's not a solution. What the solution is to rest up, rejuvenate, do the things that bring you back your energy. If there's children around, children give off great energy. They can give you and help you. Maybe snuggle up a little more often. If they think they're too big for that, grab them, kiss them on the head. Play games with them. Let the kids lead. Let them pick the games. Let them create something. If there's no children, take a walk, get some air, go into nature before it gets too cold. Depends where you're at, of course. Here in the Northeast, it's pretty nice this week. Enjoy it while you can. Do whatever works for you to get yourself stable, get yourself balanced. Okay, that's one side. Let's go to the other side and see what we got. Oh, look, another king. Oh my God, is that the King of Swords? It is. It's the King of Swords. And that tarot is amazing, I gotta tell you. It might seem like not a big deal, but these coincidences the odds are very, very long that it would come up. There's 78 cards. There's 79 of my pieces. We have 2 different decks. And here's the King of Swords. The good news is he's an upright here. So whatever the problem was with the king over there, with communication, with being a tyrant, maybe we're moving away from that. One side of you, or yeah, maybe that's it. Like we're doing a split side here, one twin on one side, one on the other. So maybe this side of the twin is actually the one that can pull this through. This does have the stronger energy because it has the Fool. It only has 1 reverse, the other side is 2. Yeah, this king's a good king. A little cold, not very emotional. Sometimes you need that too. This king gets the job done. His sword's upright, so he's ready for anything. This side too is the more traditional side. I use the more traditional deck, and we do have Major Arcana. Yeah, so this isn't a love reading, so I think we should go with Moonology today for your reading. At least let's do 2. This is the book. You see the authors there. Beautiful, really. Let me find the cards, though. Will be good, right? Here they are. I did shuffle. And I'm going to try to get a popper here for you. What does Gemini's twin need to know? What does Gemini's twin need to know? What does Gemini's twin need to know? Maybe a little guidance, another message to tie these little bits together. I would look at these readings as little morsels that you can add to other ingredients. Then you can make something out of it. Doesn't have to be the whole pie. It could just be the flour or the apples or whatever. Then other things in your life will gotta pay attention, look for other signs, and look the other places you get messages in your reading or song, or song lyrics, etc. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, I got 2, so I'm going to put one on one side, one on the other. We'll do this one this side. Fiery climax approaches. I've had that before. Again, we got this whole deck of cards, and it seems like the same ones keep coming up. The other side is communication is key. Okay, what have we been talking about? It's what I love. I don't know. It's just amazing to me. Maybe I'm just like an old hippie. But did you ever read a book by Whitman called Celestine Prophecy? It's all about that there's no such thing as coincidences. Another great book is called Serendipity by Umberto Eco. He's a great linguist, passed a few years ago. Amazing writer. You can read anything by him and you're going to love it. Okay, full moon we have on this side. Book's broken up in the full moon Aries first. Okay, here's what we're going to read. We'll read some of this. We're not going to read all of it, okay? Fiery climax approaches. Take my glasses off. It's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me, me, me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level, you've created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming, and it could be fiery, like the wands, I guess. There were other things in there that made me think of what we've been talking about. Maybe not being as sensitive as you could be, or they could be, harsh or rash. Okay, let's go on and read a little bit more. This section's called Attuned to the Moon. Be nice, be kind, smile, and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. Additional meanings for this card. Being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anyone. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby! Exclamation. Sorry, but this could be the issue. You need to have more fun! Exclamation. We talked about that. We got the Fool. Alright, but this really is supposed to be this side, but who cares? It's all good. It's all good advice. What's on the other side again? That's you. New Moon in Gemini. Communication is key. You're the great communicator when you want to be. New Moon. It's a different section of the book. Okay. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, communication. And the New Moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or neighbor, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. We had the Pentacles back there. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Attuned to the Moon. Write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. Additional meanings for this card. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Go Gemini. Read more books. Okay. This little section here, I'm going to read. I never read this, but I'm going to read it. Gemini is a sign of communication and socializing, of ideas and travel, and the energy around it and around this card, no matter when you pull it, is speedy, gossipy, and flirtatious. The new moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialize. Geminis love a chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card can also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help you to unscramble cross wires in your brain. Okay, Gemini, I think these Moonology cards really pulled it together. Some great advice, not just for you, but for all of us. Thanks for coming. Please remember to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Love y'all.